Being loved by someone deeply gives you strength, while loving someone deeply gives you courage. Lao Tzu. Being loved feels like a lot of things. It validates you, it stabilizes and supports you, but it doesn't change you in the way that you loving someone does. Loving someone changes everything, at least for me. Existentialists say, existentialists say, existentialists say that meaning doesn't exist until you choose it. That's kind of it, but not exactly. You can sometimes choose to let yourself love someone or not, but it doesn't always work that way. It's hard to commit to someone or to ask someone to be committed to you in a world that gives you every reason to be detached. Being loved is passive. Loving someone is active. And it's a huge risk. It's a confrontation with your own depth. Are you good enough? Will they see through you? Is the summation of you only lasting until 10 impressions, and then you don't know who you are? Are you willing to carve shape into a shapeless life? Sometimes I wonder if the deepest love I've ever felt wasn't with someone, but at someone. Think back to when you were in school and you had that obsessive crush about someone. You didn't even realize that that was love at the time. But how do you feel about that experience now? Can you still go back and feel what you felt? Such intense feeling, all consuming, and they had no idea. Or maybe they did, but they didn't feel the same about you. Maybe it sometimes pops back in your head when you're out for a run or thinking with no distractions, dreaming even. For me, whether my life is a little too monotonous or a little too fast-paced, I still often find myself reminiscing about earlier days. And after a while, feelings fade, but the relationships that seem to last are the first and the latest. These are the ones that cracked something open. And you can always recover from the latest by the next. But that first one lingers on. Certain relationships stay with you. And maybe there's a truth there, that no matter how one-sided, juvenile, or irrational it was, that first love imprints on you forever. Perhaps a lot of us jump the gun on the I love yous because we are so desperate to be in love, where that love pales in comparison to the first love you had, even though you were loving from afar. And you can fall in love without permission. Kierkegaard says love is a choice, and choice gives life weight. When you love someone, you take on the risk, the vulnerability, and the responsibility of feeling deeply for someone else. And that's what makes it real. Nietzsche believed that love affirms life. Even when it hurts, love proves you're awake. Brilliant. The obsession, the ache, the desire to be near to someone. It means you're still reaching for something true. Barthes described love as meaning-making. When you're in it, your brain creates stories. And of course, we love stories. I think that after AI has taken over everything, what we'll be left with is stories. And hopefully that'll be enough. You turn memories into symbols and assign weight to every glance and silence. Narratives build feelings. And feelings are beautiful. Helen Fisher's work talks about how love hits the dopamine centers of the brain. It floods you like a drug. And wanting someone, especially in those early days, it creates a state of craving. But being loved doesn't activate that part of the brain. Fromm believed mature love comes from strength. You love someone not because they meet your needs, but something inside you is strong enough to give. Loving is generous and it moves outward. When you love someone, you want them to grow. You don't want to possess them. You witness them, support them, and continue choosing them. Loving is continuing to choose someone. But when you love, when you really love, your mind stops trying to be strategic, and you let go of the control. You surrender to the feeling, and many times it will be unreciprocated. But that feeling is completely yours. It does not depend on someone giving it back. That is the powerfully amazing and terribly awful truth about love. And what about those distant memories of you being in love? That first fixation. Does that version of you in love still exist somewhere? Are you chasing that feeling, or are you running from it? Maybe it's shaped your entire being. People define themselves by their career, their apartment, their messy childhood, and the car they drive. I wonder how the world would look if we defined people by how they choose to love or not to love, how far they're willing to go, and how much of themselves they gave away in the process. Do you want to be loved? Are you willing to allow yourself to want to love? Who were you when you loved the hardest? Are you proud of the way that you loved then? What about now? Loving is something you both fall into and something that you must choose. It's a sequence of events. All the dominoes have to be lined up so that the final one can touch down. You can fall in love with someone who doesn't know you exist, and it can still change your life. Love will humiliate you, and still it's worth it. Sometimes you're not ready for closure, and you want to keep loving someone quietly in your own way. Just remember that being loved teaches you much less than loving someone. The greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love, and be loved in return. Nat King Cole. Moulin Rouge. I would say, do as I say and not as I do, and stop chasing being loved. It feels good temporarily, but it won't save your soul. You'll always want more. More attention, more proof, more security, more love. Start chasing the kind of love that pulls something honest out of you. The kind that makes you a little embarrassed, a little scared, and a little more real. Let yourself love someone with your whole heart, even if it doesn't go anywhere, even if they don't say it back, even if it breaks your heart. Because even after it's all said and done, you will be that person that was willing to love like that. And that's worth a whole lot. You don't need to be loved to matter, but you do need to love like it matters. All right, builders, see you every Sunday. And remember, growth equals knowing the risk and still offering your heart. Brick by brick, we'll get there. Valeu!